of Africa.
Nigeria we want.
All for the land.
Where's Nigeria?
The Nigeria we want. With Vicky O Show. Yeah, me show the moon. Wale your light on. I've been see what shuku. The Nigeria we want. Where's Nigeria? On Vicky O Show every Saturday.
The Nigeria we want.
Nigeria.
Where's Nigeria?
Giants of Africa.
Nigeria we
All
want.
for the land.
Where's Nigeria?
Hello. Good evening, everyone. It's Vicky Falaje, the Vicky O Show. The Nigeria we want is the show that we are here for. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Now, before we go ahead, the sponsor of our show, they're none other than Provision GSH Plus. What do they do? It's all about your health, my health, especially this time in the world where we're dealing with so much of issues with different health and what can we do to help ourselves? We know that we need to learn to live with this COVID. And how do we live with COVID? It's about making sure that our immune system is in right order. And this is what will help our immune system. So Provision GSH Plus, just check them out. How is your energy? Do you struggle with having restful sleep? How is your immune system? Do you struggle with stress, concentration, and mental fatigue? GSH Plus is your answer. It's the answer that you need because the ingredient contained in GSH Plus formula may support your immune system, optimize your strength and energy, and it can empower your daily living. Provision GSH Plus can be ordered through the link we've provided. If you want some of it, like somebody asked me a few days ago, Vicky, can I have some of those things that you're having because you're full of energy, which I haven't had for so long. So if you want some of those, why don't you send us an email right now? VickyOShow@gmail.com. So tonight I've got our panelists. We have Mr. Wale Olaiton. Welcome to the show, Wale. Wale, are you okay? Welcome.
Thank you very much, Vicky, and to our viewers. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are, on the surface of the earth.
Yep. It's good to be back on the show where we talk about everything from politics to health to relationship. We try to cover as much as we can because at the end of the day, the Nigeria we want starts with you and I. So it's not about President Buhari. It's not about Fani Kayode. It's not about anybody, that we look up to there, but it's more about the roles that each of us are playing to make sure we get the Nigeria that we want. So we are waiting for Evisunwachuku and Egbonye Mishodimo to join us. But before they do, so Wale, let's just go around the table and chat about, events, what's been trending around our loving country.
Yeah, look, for me, the most important topic trending at the moment, you briefly mentioned that, in your intro, is the defection of Chief Femi Fani Kayode, FFK. from the opposition, the People's Democratic Party, to the ruling APC. So that happened on Thursday. And obviously, Nigerians have reacted to that news. And, and our Nigerians are still reacting to that news. And so the key points, I listened to an interview granted by Chief Fani Kayode after he met President Buhari in Abuja on Thursday, the 16th of September. That was the day he actually decamped. So he said a few things that I would just want to quote him directly. He said it's the right thing to do, to put Nigeria first in everything we do, regardless of party affiliations and differences. He talked about building bridges. He spoke about, he said the only constant in life is change. So that's dreadful word again, change. So he said that, he's more from the PDP
and
to
APC. You forgot one thing. You forgot one thing.
No. He still wants to.
He lied about. Oh, okay.
And the most important thing he said, and I want to quote him directly. I believe I've been led by the Spirit of God. So that's it. Yeah. I believe I've been led by the Spirit of God. So just responding to critics of different people have different opinions on that. But he actually said, behold, our Nigerians have been led by the Spirit of God to return to APC. So that's what is really trending for me. People have a lot of commentaries around that in terms of political prostitution. I can't think of any better word in terms of it's not to be consistently inconsistent. So that is what this man is known for. So personally, I'm not surprised. You just have to look back at his antecedents. You will know that this is man that they will tell you good morning. You got to be very careful. You have to double check, your wristwatch just to be sure that you are not being, deceived. That is the caliber of people that we have in Nigeria. And to even see the president actually out of the national issues and challenges that we are facing as a nation, to see the president out of his schedule really having time for that kind of theatrics is really appalling in any sense of it. But that is what is trending for me, and I'm still enjoying the drama. Thank you. And welcome, Elvis.
Sorry, Egbayemi, welcome. I can see your smile. Holy
Thank
Spirit
you very
is
much.
leading you.
Thank you very much.
How you nade? Igbo
Yeah, yes. Hi, Wale, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, bro.
Yeah. Nice to catch up
we've been talking about what is trending. Yeah, it's always good. Yeah, we've been talking about what is trending, and the main one is, one of the main ones is Fani Kayode, which Lighton elaborated on. It's just funny that some pastors lie using Holy Spirit. Now politicians, they are also doing the same thing now, because I think probably that sells. Nigerians believe anything to do with Holy Spirit, God, and all that. They suspend their mind, they suspend their brain, and they just go with the flow because, yes, it's Holy Spirit. Anyway, what is integrity? That's my question about Fani Kayode. For me, it's just something that I struggle with. You say yes. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. If he's not happy with PDP, why do... Up until how many weeks ago that he went to Sunday Igboho, that he was in all this rubbish about Barry, and only how many we're talking about, not up to 2 months ago. this. I just can't stand people like that. No matter what it is, it's not everything is about money. So for me, I found that so, I don't know the word to use for it. And just like you said, Wale, seeing Buhari standing a man like that man is even dangerous to him if he doesn't know. So it's just, they're just turning the whole thing into theater. They should just join Egbonyemi to be doing shows. Abi Egbonyemi. Don't give me that look now. Don't give me that. Don't give me that look now. They will be so helpful to you. You'll be directing them. Oloye. I just watched one of your shows, one of your plays,
Vicky,
where you acted Oloye.
Vicky, I'm
so Egbonyemi,
Vicky,
I'll join you.
Wait a minute. I'm tempted to show you the yellow card at this point.
Please. If it's yellow card, I can manage. Don't turn it into red, okay?
Hello, can you hear me?
But it's just. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Very well.
Listen. We are going through some very, very tough times here. We are going through some very, very tough times here. Politically tough. Economically, Naira is having a free fall. And we needed a comic relief, which somebody provided. So I don't know what your problem is, though. Please, I beg. You've just said it rightly. It's comedy. But in actual fact, on a more serious note, it's crossed the line of farce, or rather, it's within the range of farce. It's worse than comedy. But that is what we, and it's probably just even the rehearsal. Is the rehearsal. The character in question is known for his flip-flops. The character in question did not just start doing that today. The character in question is tailor-made for that role. So whoever did the casting for that performance did a perfect job. Of course, the other players, the other characters within that comical setting or farcical setting roles, they played their own roles very, very well as well. I was inspired to do something about it yesterday. I'm not sure whether I've sent it to you, but that's my reaction to it. It's been years. What is there for now? If that party runs into problem, say in the next election, he will be out. The guy will be out before you realize it. He'll be out along. He will be out, moving either back to where he came from or onto something else. So he's not new. It's not. We are used to it. We are used to it.
So people will be calling.
But it is okay.
People will be calling him honorable.
Yeah, Vicky.
Is there anything honorable in the way? Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah, it just goes to show the the mindset of our politicians. Also buttresses the fact that typically a lot of people are in politics not to do good by the people, but for their own individual, personal aggrandizement.
Exactly.
To fill their pockets, to make sure the dollar rain keeps falling. I mean, I can't imagine, like, if you look at the history of the UK or the US, for instance, when somebody is a Republican, they stay Republican for years.
Forever.
forever. The Democrats, that's who they are. This even the really funny one I find is where someone wins an election under a particular party ticket. Within a short time, you're cross-carpeting to another party who didn't give you
another party.
Didn't give you the vote to get to where you are, and then you just shift base. So I think something that's probably a topic we need to look at sometimes in the future. Where people ascend to positions of authority under a particular party platform, and then within a short time they are moving to another party. An ideal scenario for me is, they should lose everything altogether if they're going to shift this. So it's common. It's
exactly.
It's nothing new.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. And I think, well, if you can remember, we talked about this a while back, whereby we talk about no ideology. Because if there is, we know that this is what, we all know what Republican stands for. We know what Democratic Party stands for. Here in Australia, we know what Liberal stands for. We know what Labour Party stands for. And when you can remember McCain, with everything McCain did, being a Republican, and how wonderful man he was and everything. And when Donald Trump got there and he treated this man like a garbage, he still didn't leave Republican. After he passed from cancer, and the wife remains a Republican, even though she's serving with Biden right now, she's still a Republican. Because that's their party, that is their family party. You really see people crossing. You really see people walking away from it. You rarely see people in Nigeria. My own thing or question is, everybody else in APC who had been with APC through their journey, through the ups and the downs, what's going to happen to them? Because this guy is coming now. They are giving him red carpet. So everybody who had served and pushed and get APC to where APC is today, they are going to be pushed to the side when Fani Kayode gets to the front. Express ticket to the front. And only God knows how many will be joining him, including the guy that used to be for Ezekiti, what's his name, Fayoshe, and many others. Because when things like this happen, it's not just going to be one. It's something they discuss in their cocoon, and they come out and start. So it's just something that I really don't know how Nigeria is going to go to a good place with all this. Wale, you want to say something on that?
Just a big revolving door. I'm still waiting, because there have been rumors in the last couple of weeks that former President Goodluck Jonathan is also perfecting.
We saw him now with.
He's also perfecting his strategies to decamp to APC, and probably to run as presidential candidate in 2023. So we're going to see many of these defections. They are part of the strategies for politicians to become more relevant as we move towards 2023. I'm 100% sure there are many decampés, waiting to. But there's no surprise if you remember in 2014. We had a scenario whereby for APC to win the election, they lured a lot of big politicians in PDP to APC. They did that deliberately around that 2014, prior to the presidential election in 2015, where we have Saraki And some of these big guys in PDP at that time, they were like giving red carpet reception to APC. It was a strategy at that point in time for them to win election. And we getting towards 2023, they will do whatever possible to remain politically relevant. And people like Femi Fani-Kayode, Sure Shiva, or Olusegun Obasanjo describing perfectly, in a particular statement, attributed to the former president that Femi is my boy. Just give him food, he will sing your praise. So something along those lines. So no one is actually surprised with that kind of a character, to be honest.
Anyway, so can I share?
It is sad. It is sad. So let's move on from. Yes.
All right. So I've got two. One of them.
Elvis.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I can hear you well.
Yes,
Am I? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So just the last few days was in the news that Australia has signed a nuclear submarine deal with the US, which has gotten France really upset. It's gotten France really upset because we initially had that contract with France and then threw the plug on them. As a result, they reacted by recalling their ambassador in Washington and also in Canberra. China is also not so happy, with that deal. They assume there's a Cold War going on between China, the US, and the UK, and a few other countries in that terrain. So it will be. No one is really sure what's going to happen. Whether they're going to start the production of that nuclear submarine here in Australia, or whether it will be made in the US and brought over here. To the best of my understanding, there's still not a lot of information around there, but they do have a contract. This one. Second thing, Sunday Igboho, an Oyo State court ruled in his favor against the federal government to be paid, I think, 20 billion naira as compensation for
20 billion.
20 billion, not million.
Destroying his house.
Yeah, for invading his home. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see that whether the federal government pays that sort of money. But yeah, these are the two. While it took the other one right out of my mouth, I made a note. It's one of the things I wanted to share. It's quite popular. It's all over the place. But other than that, yeah, we have this I just shared. Yeah, these are the things that are trending for me.
Thank you, Elvis. Egboyemi, any updates from your side? What is trending for you?
Outside what Elvis has mentioned, I know that security forces are making some gains in some parts of the challenged areas, particularly in the northern part. They're making some gains, and of course, that's naturally be accompanied by some losses here and there. So they're making some inroads, and obviously the cliques and groups of terrorists are feeling their impact. That is something that's on right now, and I know that the central bank is battling to ensure that the naira does not get into the ICU. They're really working on this, and this also has to do with the role being played by the
BDCs?
The independent buyers and sellers. What's this? They're battling that. They're battling. So we are hoping that it will get some reprieve, and we can move on.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
basically that.
Basically, that's an interesting one. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I was listening to the CBN governor. I think it was this morning or yesterday, where he actually alluded to the fact that they want to change the system. They want to be able to have the banks now sell the forex to genuine individuals who need it for international travel or for international trade. But that what they are finding is that people are actually taking on the forex, the BDCs, and then going ahead to use that same forex to buy equipment for the terrorists. That's what he said. So they're going to change all that. Hopefully, that will help, bring down the make the exchange rate more favorable. And yeah, we're looking forward to seeing that happen.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's go straight into today's topic, and it's about dignity of labor. No legitimate, insignificant. Dignity of labor. So, Wale, take it up.
Oh, thank you. All labor that uplifts humanity has dignity across different ethnic groups in Nigeria.
Yeah,
hello?
Can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. So all labor that uplifts humanity has dignity across different ethnic groups in Nigeria. There are many folklores promoting hard work as antidote to poverty. Are we learning from our folklores? So we want to look at this important topic, and the emphasis is around, attitudinal change that we try to promote on this program. Attitudinal change, not only on the part of, politicians and the people, but on this core topic of people hard work, what they do for a living, and how do we as a society treat people on the basis of their work or what they do for a living. So I'll go straight to the point. I will start with Elvis. What is your understanding of dignity of labor?
My understanding of dignity of labor is more to do with whatever an individual is engaged in, whatever role or job that you undertake, should be accorded, some level of respect. No one should look down on anyone's job or what they do for a living, and no job should ideally be looked upon as superior to other jobs. So whatever we do in life, we should take pride in what we do and be happy that we're earning a living and doing something honorable to earn that living. So yeah, in all facets of life, wherever area of endeavor you find yourself in, and whatever it is that you do as an individual, as a person, you should be proud to do whatever. And typically that's what we find here. If you're a cleaner, yes, you do it with dignity. You should be proud. You're a cleaner. If you're a laborer, you should be proud what you do. So here, as you and I know, Wale, in fact, those jobs that we look onto as menial jobs back home are the ones that actually make money here. Your plumbers, your bricklayers, your electricians, they are the big boys. And there's dignity in what they do. So this system doesn't look down on anything or any role at all. So yeah, that's my understanding of dignity of labor, being given the accolades or respected for what you do, whatever it is that you are engaged in. Yeah. Okay,
thank you. Dr. Vicky, do you want to expand on that, on on that same get concept of dignity of labor, what it means to you? Hello.
The internet is really messing up today.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay,
why.
look,
I'm in the also.
okay. I will go to Egmont there. Maybe you need to fix
I'll
a
try
few
and log
things
in
with
on
me.
to and see if that will work.
Okay, so I quickly go to Egmont. Egmont, let's explore Nigerian cultural values and folklores and what they say about dignity of labor. As a Yoruba man, I was taught as little as I can remember that Ishelo Ogunshe, Murasi Ishe Oremi, one of those poems that we all had to memorize way back in primary school. And to non-Yoruba speakers, it simply means that hard work is the antidote to poverty. That you got to really take any legitimate work seriously. So I want you to explore most of these cultural values and folklores, and how they relate to the topic that we're discussing, to the dignity of labor.
For starters, I must say that when I see hiccups like this in terms of internet and all that coming from your end, it makes me feel good. It kind of
it makes you happy.
Yes, at least it tells me that there are issues in some other parts of the globe, but it is okay. That's just on the lighter side. Let me also quickly say that I agree with Elvis with what he said earlier. My only challenge with it is the word whatever. That's my challenge. But you've put my mind at rest by the use of legitimate. That's why you've bringing the word legitimate, because labor. If you just say labor, it's important for us to clarify it. If whatever you are engaged in is hurting the society, if whatever you are engaged in is not just hampering the development of your environment, of the society, then we need to take a second look at that word labor. Because to you may see it as putting in so much flesh, so much sweat. But a fraudster that wakes up in the middle of the night looking for victims all over the internet cannot be considered as somebody who is doing anything legitimate. Cannot be considered as, it will not come under the umbrella of the labor that we are discussing. So it's important for us to get that clear. Now, coming back to our folklore, our forefathers had a lot of respect for labor, paid a lot of dignity to labor. Within a communal setting, a lazy man that wakes up in the morning does nothing apart from using his train stick and just eating and just loitering around is not respected in any form within that setting. Is not respected. Such a person is seen as a misfit. That setting then gave respect to that person that wakes up in the morning, picks up his hoe and heads to the farm. That person that picks up the gourds and goes to climbing trees to tap palm wine that is going to sell. That woman that picks up the basket and heads towards the market to sell, buy and sell, is highly, highly respected. And you find out that they weave words around such things. You have cited a very good example. When we were growing up, we were exposed to some of these folklores, some of these poetry that taught you about dignity of labor. It was actually entrenched within the school system. You needed to learn some of these things. So you are not expected actually to come to class or come to school to just play your life out. You are expected to learn. You are expected to be prepared for the world outside. Back in the day, the average child will go to school, and on coming back home, would do some hawking for the parents. Right? I sold old newspapers for my grandmother that I lived with. My grandmother was a very voracious reader when it comes to journals and newspapers and all that. But it did not end there. Whichever one she finished with, we rolled up into some lumps and we hugged it to people who needed them to sell their little things. We hugged it. And in our head rang things like Murasisha Oremi, Isheni Afindeni Gida, Biakobare ni Feinti. I will explain this, Elvis, in a minute. Biakobare ni Feinti, Biole Lari, Biakobare ni Bokonle, Ateramoshe ni. Ìyá rẹ̀ lè lówó lọ́wọ́ kí bàbá rẹ̀ lẹ́sìn lẹ́ẹ̀kan, bó o bá gbójúlé wọn kò tẹ́tọ́ ni mo sọ fún ọ, apálára ìgúnpá ni ìyẹ̀kan, and on. What that was saying in essence is work hard. Work hard. There is not just dignity, there is reward in labor. You are encouraged not to rely on the wealth of your parents. You are encouraged to make yours, work for yours. You are told that, listen, if people appreciate you today, it's because of probably what you stand for, what you have. And for you to sustain such appreciation, you need to keep working at it. These were things that were drummed into our ears, were drummed into our head. Listen, they were very good. They were very useful. They were very, very useful. And those who took the advice today are happy they did. They're happy they did. You were discouraged from stealing. You are discouraged from picking what was not yours, what did not belong to you. You are discouraged from reaping from where you did not sow. And this went on, and it became part of life. It was something that you grew up with. It was something that you imbibed. That did not mean that we did not have miscreants in our midst. But the truth is, those were the people who refused to listen to those admonitions. Those were people who refused to take to the advice. And of course, they know what the result is. That's my bit for now.
Okay, thank you very much. But I will go to Elvis now. Just still talking about that cultural values and folklores. We all remember reading Things Fall Apart and Okonkwo and his farms, and all those attributes of a farmer, a successful farmer with yams and women and everything. So I want you to explore with us the Igbo culture and values around that same topic as Egbon just presented from the Yoruba perspective. Elvis.
Yeah, Wale, yes. Well, I would just like to clarify. Look, thank you for just highlighting. And I'd like to further put a disclaimer and to clarify. When I said anything, anything in quotes, will not include those things that we are not proud to step out and say, this is what I do for a living. So my reference to anything was you know, I was referring to anything that one will honorably stand up and say, yes, this is what I do for a living, and I'm proud that I do this. So not the other anything. I just need to clarify. Yeah. So Wale, look, it's not so much different from what Ebmo has also analyzed here. Can
you think of any particular Igbo saying? Can you think of anything like something concrete Igbo saying? I just want to hear that. Just like Ebmo just recited that poem, like Ishelo Gushemurasi Shoremi. I want to hear anything like that, in Igbo. Can you think of any?
If I say that to you in Igbo, will you understand?
Yeah, please.
You will explain it to. Say it and explain.
You explain it just for the fun of it.
You put me on the spot there. Can I think of anyone?
I will come back to you, Elvis. I know you're a man of culture. I'll come back to you. I'll move to Dr. Vicky now. You didn't miss much when you were away. Egbo had a crack at you. That thank God that it's not only in Nigeria that they have internet hiccups. That is good to see that we have our own IT issues as well. So that is my amiable for you. So let's go into the other side. I want to explore with you, in terms of the religion. Religion plays a significant role in all areas in Nigeria, and also I want you grew up in Vicarage, and you want to explore with us what the scripture says, around this topic about labor and dignity of labor.
You need to unmute. Doc, you need to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Egbo. I know the scripture says that if you don't eat, you shouldn't be expecting to eat. And there are so many,
if you don't work, sorry, if you don't work.
If you don't work. Sorry. This internet craziness just messed me up a little bit.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling here. Don't worry. It's a good feeling here.
All right. So there are so many parables in the Bible that Jesus used to get some messages across. There was a time he talked about a parable of a rich man that gave out, can't remember what it's called, to some of his servants. He gave out
talents.
Thank you, talents. He gave a talent to one. He gave 10 to one. He gave them those talents to go and invest, use it, and increase it. One that had one buried it because it wasn't, how can he give me only one? So he buried it, he didn't do anything with it. Meanwhile, others used their talent and they increased the value of it. They increased the value. And a year after, the rich man came back and said, all right, I'm back. Now, I gave you some talents to go and use and invest and increase. What have you guys done? They all came. And the one that had one said, what do you want me to do with one? You only gave me one. What do you want me to do with one? I just put it somewhere, Jerry. I didn't do anything with it. Meanwhile, the others increased theirs. What is that saying to us? We all have something in us. Every one of us do have something in us. I think it was yesterday that I posted something on my page. And my question to people was, who are you really? They asked the same question when Michael Jackson was alive. Michael Jackson said, I am music. And when you think about music, when you think about, that special kind of music, you remember Jackson, even though he's been dead for how many years now, even though he has some skeletons in his cupboard, but there was something peculiar about him. And it just didn't stay with, okay, I have this tiny little talent. He did more work on himself.
to get to that point that people were paying thousands of dollars to go and watch him. Every one of us do have something. Every one of us. I actually just finished a program that I was watching with Stephen. And this guy, at the age of 37, he found something that he could connect with. He had tried everything else, nothing ever worked for him. He was given so many chances that he just kept going back to drinking and, you know, doing stuff. But he was good at basketball, but he wasn't good at listening to instructions because of his background. It got to a point that everything was just falling apart for him until somebody saw him doing a trick with a basketball. He was just doing a trick, you know, spilling it around and just doing a few tricks. And that person said, wow, I can get you audition with this group of people and you can share your talent. And that is what he's been doing. And that is bringing him millions of dollars. Now, Nigeria as it is, we can talk about it from day dot. Everyone over there do have something to give, to offer. But what are we doing? We can blame the government, we can blame the water, we can blame the sun, we can blame the moon. But if we can tap in, go within, what is it that am I good at? The Bible says it. If you don't work, you can't eat. You shouldn't be expecting to be fed. You are not working. Now, yes, there are no opportunities in Nigeria. But like I always say to people, there is opportunity for you to think outside the box. It was long ago, the times of Egboyemi, that they were, you know, that was long time ago. You know what? It sometimes might not be the thing. Using this brain and working smart is the thing. You know, this was what we grew up listening to at school again and again, you know, and we all were. That's why we have so many professors and our country is falling apart. That's why we have so many doctors and our country is falling apart, because it's always about individualistic. It's me. What can I do so that I can be better? I can be better. But at the end of the day, if we can focus on what is it that I love to do, what is it that what can I bring to the table? What is it that is within me? Think outside the box. Don't focus the energy on Batariadu Kokoka. I had an event in Lagos a few years back, like 2-3 years back. A young lady came to me, and I think I've already shared this on this show before. She came to me and she was asking me that she wanted an advice, that she had been given an admission to University of Lagos to study Masters in Geography. But at that time, she just started a business. She had already started this business, and that business was really doing well, to the extent that she had people working for her, courier people picking up her stuff and delivering for her all over Lagos. Now, she said, I wanted to stop this business so that I can go and do my master's. So I asked her, so if you finish the master's, what are you going to be doing? Then I'll start looking for work. Now you have work. You are even employing people. You want to leave that and go and chase geography, a master's in geography, and spend thousands of dollars to accomplish that in this climate, in this country where job is as scarce as snow. Come on, girl. That girl, she's doing really well. The business has grown so much now. She's doing personal shopping for people, thinking outside the box. There are so many brilliant Nigerians doing the same, thinking outside the box, but we need more. So Wale, I think I'll just leave it at that.
Not a problem. Thanks so much for that. For starting from the spiritual, the parables of talents, to talking about using your head and using your hand. I will still come back to that, and I'm sure Elvis or Egbon, later in the contribution, they can still talk about the contradiction around the same, scripture preaching and supporting hard work. And at the same time, we have modern day preachers that the focus is all about prosperity preaching, whereas able-bodied men and women, they spend all day and night in the church, that they could have used that energy for something more productive. But I will leave that to other contributors later. So I will go to talking more around what you said around using your head and using your hand, or using your head or brain, or using your hand. John Rockefeller said, "I believe in the dignity of labor, whether with head or hand, that the world owes no man a living, but that it owes every man an opportunity to make a living." So what's your take on this quote? And how can public-private partnership generate more work opportunities for millions of unemployed Nigerians? I'll start with Elvis, and I put that question open to other panelists as well to contribute. Elvis, so what's your take on John Rockefeller's that famous quote, and with down expanding to how do we really create more opportunities for people? Because at the end of the day, the missing link in Nigeria is that lack of opportunities. We know that globally government doesn't generate job for everyone, but obviously it's a peculiar problem in Nigeria. So what is your take on this, Elvis?
Yeah, Wale, look, whether one is using their head or their hands, I believe each one is complementary to the other, to also having a great nation. What's common back home typically is people are looked on to respectfully where you've acquired some level of education, and you got a white collar job, you're in that sort of setting. That's where you sort of get the recognition or maximum respect. But I'm also glad to say that things are beginning to change. I recall having a conversation with my mother-in-law the other day, and I think she made a comment. She said, those who actually are doing well in Nigeria now are predominantly the individuals who, have learned a trade or two. Your tailors, I'll give you my younger sister went through the 4 walls of the university after studying. She graduated in biochemistry. She prefers to just do sewing now. She prefers just to be in fashion. So I think we're transcending beyond that level where, people who are using their hands are looked onto as without some, or treated differently from those who are using their heads. I think we're turning that corner now. And that's similar scenarios we have here in Australia and other parts of the West. Because if you narrowed it down, if you narrowed job opportunities down to individuals who have paper certificates alone, honestly, a lot of people will not have jobs.
Exactly.
And this system is not based on how much education you have. I remember one organization I worked for sometimes a couple of years ago. I happened to be the most educated person there. Even my MD only had a diploma, and he employs me with all the degrees I claim to have acquired. So so whether the head or the hand, each one is important, and not everybody has the ability to acquire that big college degree or university certificate. This system is designed in such a way that whatever you do, well, whatever good thing you do. not whatever. In fact, let me put this in front. Whenever I say whatever, please just think of the good side of the whatever.
Let's say legitimate whatever.
not the whatever. So whatever you do around here, you know, you've got the opportunity to do what others who, say, for example, you haven't got that level of education and you're doing some jobs that back home we refer to as menial jobs. There's no menial job here. A job is a job where we are. And everyone is respected for what they do. And everyone can, you know, get to where, you know, reasonably they want to get to based on that income that they receive from the work they do. So yeah, Wale, head or hand, everyone is important. That's my view, and I'm glad back home people are beginning to see that again and according a lot more respect to people who use their hands. The second leg of the question has to do with the private public, is it partnership? Yeah,
partnership, and how to really provide opportunities, you know, for people in terms of, you know, whatever they really want to do. How can, you know, public-private partnership actually help in developing and providing more opportunities for people?
Yeah, first of all, well, yeah, look, and that's what they do, by the way, you know, like they identify opportunities and they want to bring in the funding, you know, to invest in those areas in partnership with the government. But yeah, first of all, there needs to be an enabling environment for an investor to feel confident to want to bring their money back home to invest. Yeah, on top of the list will be security. How secured is the environment? If someone is bringing, or an organization is bringing tons of their money to invest in Nigeria, which if they do, except in some instances where you see the Chinese company will go into those sort of partnerships and they're coming with, you know, their staff, they're coming with their people, they're coming with everyone, and then there's little or no opportunity for the individuals who make up the population of that particular country to benefit from that opportunity. An ideal scenario will be they go into agreements, identify opportunities, or government puts out those opportunities there, and they bring in their funding. Who gets the jobs? Of course, it's you know, the people who are local that would fill in those positions, and by that way, you know, they've obviously created employment for the individuals who make up the populace. But you know, that can be done in this sort of, well, without an enabling environment. People need to feel confident that their monies are safe. They are, you know, they are secure when they are there. You don't want to have a situation where the dollar is exchanging between $1 and 200 naira, and then the next day it catapults to 400. So that level of stability needs to be there. But in terms of whether it provides an opportunity for our people, yes, the opportunity is there, and a lot more can be done in that area. But what's going to drive it is government preparedness to ensure that individuals who are bringing their funds to invest in Nigeria will be doing so in a safe and a secure environment. Yeah, these are my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Elvis. And I will go to Egmoyemi now, still talking about, you know, look, there's a growing trend now where we have, you know, politicians, there's a lot of emphasis on promoting entrepreneurship. You know, you see them promoting young people to become entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of that going on. Even that in its own is not bad, but every student of basic economics, you'll know that there are what they call four basic factors of production. Way back, we talk about that land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. That at the end of the day, you're not just an entrepreneur by putting that label on yourself that you are an entrepreneur. You still need the capital to be able to do anything. So how can the government, or I'm still on the government side, how can they really do more in terms of looking at statistics of how many graduates are we producing? Despite we promote and ed, we get it, but there's a reason why we have universities and technical education, and the role of those, the quality of that education in the society. How can we, the government, really do more in terms of having specific policies to address unemployment, especially the growing level of unemployment in the country, and to promote vocational education? Egbon? Hello?
Egbon, you have to unmute.
Okay.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
We
Yes.
can hear you now.
So my specific question was around promoting vocational education, specifically around government promoting vocational education, and at the same time, the need for government to look at numbers in terms of unemployment number from Bureau of Statistics and come up with clear-cut policies on how to address those identified problems, rather than just the basic semantics around everyone should become an entrepreneur. That seems to be what they talk about all the time now.
I know specifically that there are efforts towards that. I know that there are government programs geared towards promoting vocational activities. It's our problem has always been that of starting and sustaining some of these programs, because what you realize is that one government comes up, one administration comes up, makes so much noise about a program that you see that this is genuine, so let me take back the word genuine, that you see that this makes sense, that you see that if this is fully implemented, it certainly would have positive impact on the society. But what you realize at the end of the day is, once another administration comes up, they want to brand themselves. They want to brand their efforts. And most times you just find out that such laudable projects, such laudable programs of previous administrations are abandoned. And so you have this staccato kind of development where it is not moved on from one level to another. That happens a lot. It happens a lot here. And I can only hope that we keep learning from the errors we've made over and over again. I hope we can. But on the larger scale, there is the need, for creating more enabling environments. There is a need for that. There are young ones, there are brilliant minds here who are thinking and acting out of the box. A number of them. You'd be surprised that the type of example Dr. Vicky gave earlier, there are examples of such here. There are people like that doing that here. And some other things. Butchery, for instance, used to be the exclusive preserve of men. But you have women in it now. You have graduates going in there to buy maybe whole goats. In actual fact, while we were talking, one of them just walked in here. They buy goats and they kill and of course sell this to interested people. And you have women doing this. You have because of the exposure to education, they've taken it a bit above what you find in the local market. You find this in terms of packaging. You find this in terms of refrigeration. You find this in terms of this, the distribution system. So these are things that we see on daily basis, and you look around you, you find a young person thinking positively about certain things. So when you now see some others who are more interested in swindling or defrauding people, you can't but just feel sorry. And if they are still within range, that if they're still amenable to the positive approach to life, when you talk to such, they probably slow it down and have a rethink. But those who are far gone and who believes that easy money is the in thing, they defraud from some other countries or even from here, and they find easy money, and what they rush out to do is buy flashy cars or buy things, very transient things, and that's a category of, and in that wise you can hardly turn them around, except when the big arm of the law comes in to stop them. But generally, there are moves by different state governments and even federal governments to help in vocational training here and there. And there are, of course, there are private bodies like the Rotary, for instance, that encourage vocational training. There are private bodies like that. There are religious bodies that also encourage that as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Egbo. In my last question, we go to Dr. Vicky. We're trying to be a good timekeeper tonight. I'm not doing too bad. So my last question goes to Dr. Vicky, and again, I'm going back to that, the need for that reorientation amongst our people. Despite everything we've said tonight, we still know that jobs, legitimate jobs are still treated differently. So how can we really reorientate our people to know that a street cleaner and a bus driver, they are also good contributors to the good of the society in their own way? You can just imagine if they leave dead bodies on the street and you don't have all those mostly women, cleaning the street and doing what they do. How can anyone naturally move around, in a healthy environment in cities like Lagos? How can we change that orientation, Dr. Vicky, to still make people feel others are legitimate contributors to the growth of the society, regardless of the work they do?
Yeah, I believe it's all about education. And it falls on to every one of us. And I can share two cases of those people that distinguish themselves in what they do. There was a young guy in Kaduna, in the northern area, and he was one of the people that pushes wheelbarrow to help people cart their stuff, their shopping from the markets to their cars. This boy every morning would dress well in, buba and shoro, shine his shoes, lovely cap on his head, nice wristwatch, wheelbarrow pusher. Every morning, he'll come there looking nice and clean. Wash his wheelbarrow, no dirt, nothing in his wheelbarrow. So every people that contract him to help them, they get his phone, and when they want to come and do their shopping, they call him. Can you meet me up at? To the extent that this boy now became employer of labor. He set himself aside from everybody else. There are so many people doing the same work and they struggle. But this boy understand that, and I'm talking, this boy will have been around 18 years old. He capitalized on setting himself apart from the rest. That yes, I may be pushing wheelbarrow, but you never forget me. The way I present myself, and I've always said it, the way, dress the way you want to be addressed. Dress the way you want to be addressed. This guy, being a wheelbarrow, refused to be seen and be put in that box like the rest. He set himself apart from the rest. And everyone that employ him realizes that this guy is different. To the extent that he got interviewed. He was interviewed on the radio, on the TV. He was written about. I mean, if everyone can work on, I need to be above everybody else. I may be washing toilets at the airport, but you know what? If this is the job I've been given, I need to set myself apart from the rest. I need to do this. Rather than you've been asked to do the work, but you're not doing it. You are begging for money all over the place. The education starts with, whatever people are doing, knowing fully well that I'm doing my part to serve. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve the others. And I need to do it to the best of my ability. It starts with knowing fully well, people can joke. People joke every time. People say things that they, just to make themselves feel better than this person. They say things. But your mindset is what you need to work on individually. Me, working on my own mindset that you may think I'm this person, but I know I'm much better than that. I'm doing this work because I'm here to serve. And if we can train our kids not to laugh and make fun of other people, not to make other people feel like they are not good enough because they are cleaning, the public place. Come on. I mean, we had a guest in our house that came from Nigeria, a family member, who at that stage, we came home from work and she was accusing my daughter, my eldest daughter that was around 9 years old at that stage, 8 or 9. She was accusing the poor girl as calling her house girl. I said, this girl doesn't even know what house girl is. Since she was little, we've always had nannies and we don't treat anybody as if they are below or whatever. We are all the same. So the concept of house girl is not in my kids' head. It's not something we do here. This is a different place from Nigeria. Our mindset was, as soon as she says things like that, we will beat that girl silly. But I'm like, no. I know what this girl can say because the way we train them, what they see, what they hear is totally different. In Nigeria, yes. Oh, the house girl is the one chasing everybody, running errands for everybody. That's not the way it is here. So my point is, it's about mindset of individuals, mindset of parents, and what they train their kids to say, to do, and to view other people.
Thank you very much on that powerful note about mindsets of family, as parents, and the larger society, the need for us to change our mindsets. I know that the bus driver is an important contributor to the economy. He may have a different role compared to an engineer or a banker, but they are equally good contributors. Thank you very much. And I'll go around the group now for the final words. I'll start with Elvis.
Yeah, well, before I say my final words, have I got a few minutes just to add to Vicky's comments? So
I'll give you 90 seconds. I'm doing my own timekeeping tonight too.
And you have to give him a bit more because it's his birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, she's letting the cat.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Let the cat out of the bag.
I'm impartial timekeeper. 90 seconds, office. Your final words. I give
All
you more
right.
time next week after your birthday.
Okay, now listen. No, I just want to I want to relate with the analogy Vicky just gave. In fact, with the young man with the wheelbarrow. I'm a case in point. While I'll tell you all, let me just approximately 25 years or more ago, I had acquired my degree, my master's degree back home, back in the days. And I decided, look, I'm going to do my own business. What did I do? I spoke to a few friends. I said, look, I'm going to go into real estate. I have an interest in this area. And I know I can still remember vividly, a few of them said to me, oh, you're going to go hungry. Have you not seen that agent? All his shoes have chopped alignments, his shirt, his collar, they are all torn and all of that. How can you think of wanting to go into real estate? And I said to the guy, I said, look, I know you have used this yardstick, these individuals who obviously to you have not done well in this area, to sort of project how it's going to be for me. And I said to the guys, I asked them, how about you? I said, have you ever heard of Jide Taiwo? Everyone will know Jide Taiwo. I said, have you heard of Dia Fatimilein? He goes, yes. I said, that's where I'm looking. That's where I'm looking, and that's where I want to be. And when I started off, honestly, with how you said it, dress the way you want to be addressed, I did a whole lot of things differently because I'm educated in that way. And every week I will spend money to be in Guardian newspaper to advertise my properties. I will advertise in a castle. Everyone might probably know castle. Castle is all property. That's all they do. I will spend money to be there every week. The other guys thought I was crazy. What is he doing? I tell you, by the time things started happening for me, I started hearing rumors. No, he's not doing the same business as we're doing. But because I carved a niche for myself, I thought to do it differently from every other person. And I will stand with bank managers, people in positions of authority, and I'll be firm when I discuss with them. I'm doing a deal. I don't go yes sir. No, you're wearing a suit. I'm wearing a suit. And I talk to you. I relate with you on that level. You don't give me an impossible brief. I tell you straight up, what you're asking me is impossible. I'm not going to waste your time or my time. If you can't accept this much, I'm not going to touch your brief. But yet you had a lot of other people who will take that brief only because they needed the business and they're running in front of this person and they don't get anything out of it. I will be firm. And, and then you also respect me for what I stood for. And for such clients, I will get several more referrals. And that's how I did my business. And honestly, it really worked out well for me. So going to my final words, it's important for you, whatever you do, to carve a niche for yourself. Have your own brand. Don't go with a herd mentality, like everyone is doing it this way. Let me also do it that way. You can do it differently and be successful at what you do. Put in some style, do it differently, and people will love you for it. I see that the government, actually, we're taking a lot of responsibility away from the government. We're now in a situation where back home, those areas that government actually is meant to look after, people, do for themselves. For example, the areas of electricity, you have your own generator. Government is meant to provide the electricity. Efforts at fixing your roads will be maybe the local area where you live. You contribute money to fix those potholes in your areas. You get you hire your own security men to, open your gates and close them. At least you have some semblance of having security in your areas. Pipe bomb water, you don't have it, you have your borehole. So, everything that the government is meant to be doing for the individuals are now doing for themselves. We're talking about entrepreneurship, which is not a bad thing, but government should be able to play their own role and also provide opportunities for people. Not everyone is cut out to do business. Some people are cut out to finish their university or whatever education or whatever it is that they're learning, and then go every day to work and come back. Not everybody has the ability to do business. So for those who want to go into that area, government needs to look at the interest rates they charge people at the banks. They need to come in, just like we've done here. Two digits. If for a mortgage you get, if you're paying 3% now, you're probably paying too much.
Too high, yeah.
In Nigeria, if you want a loan, Vicky, you pay as much as 30% interest. How can a
30
business
seconds.
survive? Sorry?
30 seconds.
Yeah. 30 seconds, yeah. How can a business survive in that sort of way? How can somebody even have the mindset to go borrow? So things need to be made easier for the individuals. Government needs to review this policy. The banks also need to be, they need to stand up and do the right thing. They're supposed to be there to support individuals or businesses who are trying to get off the ground and not to stifle them. People take loans from Nigerian banks they're never able to pay back. And before you get that loan, they tell you, bring your C of O. You need to have a property first of all. And a lot of the times, you're never, ever able to pay that money back, and then they go on the property, and that's it. You go bankrupt. So, yeah, people have a role to play. Government still has a lot more to do. There needs to be that genuine purpose and that genuine mindset to want to see people succeed. These policies they need to look at and to make things better for our people. Thank you.
Very loaded, Elvis. Thank you very much. Egbon, your final words.
That's the shortest 90 seconds I've seen. But it is well.
Egbon, it's my birthday, please.
You deserve it. You deserve more than that. Seriously, you do. Happy birthday in advance. Now that I haven't listened to Elvis, I'll take my quick example from the other end of the spectrum. Way back in Abeokuta years ago, years and years ago, we used to have night soil men. Night soil men were those that came around to pick the mess. Let me just put it that way. Yes, you got it, Elvis. And then they had loads and loads of sheets of cloth wrapped all over their head to disguise. You can hardly identify any. They took time to do that. That was part of it. And they did this because it was termed to be the very lowly kind of job you could find around. But the honest truth is, we couldn't have survived without them.
Exactly. So their job
was
important.
We couldn't, there is no way that society would have survived without them. But very little respect was paid to them. And looking at it in retrospect, I realized that the society erred in doing that. Fast forward to the present society, a couple of years back, when we started having official street sweepers, a lot of these sweepers took time to disguise. They were either having a low cap to shield their faces, or they were wearing dark glasses and all that. That happened some years ago. Now, there is no way, when at a point they went on strike, the society suffered heavily. Now, when you look at it closely, there is no way the society will survive without them. Having all the debris all over the place, there is no way. But with time, if you look at a year or two back now, these street sweepers are doing this freely. As in, you can hardly find any of them disguising now. There are kits for them. It is not perfect. We are still far from the ideal. So I'm not going to paint a picture of yes, we are there. No. But situations are improved. People have realized that these guys, these ladies are providing a very vital role, duty or whatever for the society. Where I'm getting at is government needs to encourage vocation. Government needs to, just as Elvis has said it, so don't let me repeat all he has said. There is the need for us to consciously give pride to labor. There is a need for us to consciously accord respect to people who are doing certain things, a lot of things within the society that is helping us to stabilize and helping us to grow. And if you're out there and you are involved with any of these legitimate things, please feel very proud that you are doing it right and that you are appreciated. I will leave it at that.
Thanks so much, Egbon, for that powerful final message, and over to Dr. Vicky. Thank you.
On Friday, which was only yesterday, I opened my email. The email was from one employment agency offering me a staff member. That government will pay me, I think, like for 6 months. If I take that girl on, they will pay $30,000. If the girl works, I think, up to 30 hours a week or something like that. And if she works up to 10 hours, it's going to be, I'm just like, I opened the email and I was like, this is a country. This girl that we're talking about, she's only 19 years old. Government wanted to pay me to employ her. Government is ready to give me money to encourage me to employ this young girl. This is a country, just like Nigeria is a country. Now, the young people all over the place, they are pushing, they are trying to work it out, to make something of their lives. And sometimes I look at different businesses that some of them have been able to come up with. They're just, some of them are they are brilliant. They are brilliant. I mean, I look at someone like Wearable. She makes different styles. Ankara, she'll make this. She thinks outside the box, not things that everybody else has been making. Ours is always so spectacular. And then she will wear our own stuff and have pictures professionally done, you know, videos and pictures, and it's there, bright. And she sells to everyone around the world, not just in Nigeria. Last weekend, when we had the show, for the birthday shout out, there was a young man. This boy just finished, I think, at OND. His job, or what he's doing for himself, is to, if you know, like Elvis now with his birthday, I can contract this young man, give him some money. Can you put something together for Elvis? I want to just show him how much I appreciate him. And this boy will put something together, and he's got somebody that works with him that is doing Ewi. What is Ewi in Yoruba? What is Ewi? I don't know Ewi again.
It's traditional poetry. Traditional poetry.
Okay, I don't know it in Yoruba, but I know it in Igbo, and it's rabbits in Igbo.
Rabbits again.
Yeah. But that's what it is. Ewe is rabbit in Igbo.
Rabbit, okay. I'm not sure if this boy can do rabbits for you, but he will do what he can. That you listen, your head will be like doing like this, you know. And so many. I mean, during COVID, when there wasn't job, when people can't do anything, when they had lockdown in Nigeria, there were so many people coming up with different ideas. One of them is a guy called Laolubenjo. Laulu Benjo was the one that sang for me for my birthday, for my 50th. And I mean, he's got a studio. People will come and rent a studio. He uses his own studio. And in that studio, he can do birthday sing for 5 to 10 people in a day. And people are paying 150,000 naira. He doesn't have to be traveling all over the place, with his stuff, with his guitar and drums, the same place. They are safe there. So many people are coming with all these ideas, and every one of them needs encouragement. But we still have some that are struggling. Lots of them that are actually struggling, because doing a business is not, you just don't wake up and say, I want to go and do business. There are skills that you need to have. There are things that you need to walk through. We talked about mindset earlier on. It starts with mindset. It starts with you knowing where you're going with it. It's not just about running. I just want to run business because everybody else is running business. Some of them, they don't know the skill. They don't know what to do. That they just don't dip their hands into the money that they are supposed to be spending for their business, because they are struggling because of this, because of that, that there are things that they need to know. So there are people out there that can train, that can help them to do this. It's about now having government there. I will round up shortly, Wale. Having government there to help connect the young people with those people that can help them. There are people that will be happy to mentor. We have businessmen all over the place. Having somebody to mentor, that show me how I can do this, how I can be successful, and let me just go and do it. So to anyone out there listening and is been thinking about running business, or you're running business and you don't know where to go with it, come on, send me an email. I have a mentoring program. I'm just about to. There are a few of them. I think about 10 of them that they are rounding up. The last week is this coming week. They just finished their 6 weeks, and some of them are really fantastic. These girls are just amazing. They are doing their graduation this coming week. So if you are ready, it's a free 6-week program. I will dedicate 1 hour a week to mentor you. It's a group mentoring program. If you are listening right now, or you will be replaying this later, send an email, vickyoshow@gmail.com. And let me and a team of people that I have put together, these are brilliant people, help you get your idea off the table. All right, so, that was huge. So yeah, it's been another wonderful show. I want to say a very big thank you, Egboyemi. Thank you for coming on. Elvis Nwachuku, thank you for sharing. And while you're light on, I appreciate you as usual. And Elvis, for Tuesday, make you not enjoy well.
Yes,
make you not enjoy. So
we will.
All right. So when they allow us to go out, we will come and do picnic at your place.
No wahala. I was actually looking forward to a really big one. But by the way, I turned 50 on Tuesday. It should have, it's gonna be my golden year. But we're still in restrictions. Hopefully something will happen once they open us up. Maybe we can do 50 plus.
I have my plans, and I'm seriously thinking about coming over via submarine.
Submarine, no. No, it won't be real. Be real, but look, you're not far from the truth. You of course, one of these days you'll come to Australia, and then we'll spoil you a little, just a little.
I'm looking forward to that.
We will spoil him big.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. Australia is a destination. It's a must.
It is. It is. Now that you are with us.
No problem.
All right. So yeah. You all have a lovely, lovely week, and we thank you all our viewers all over the world. We appreciate you as usual. Thank you, and until next Saturday, when we will come back with another great topic and another wonderful guest panelist. You take care, and may God bless you all. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Dalu or whatever it is. Bye.
So, please, please, please.